Let me ask you a question. Do you ever get stuck during conversations? Do you struggle to come up with that specific word while talking? Has anyone ever put you on the spot and you just end up staring at the ground because you can't come up with anything? Maybe you're a student and it's exam day. You know the subject very well, but for some reason your mind goes blank the moment you read the first question. Or maybe it's time for your interview, but you can't answer any of the questions you haven't prepared for. Well, good thing you found this video, because we'll explore ways to condition your brain into a quick thinker. Quick thinkers are people who can quickly process, analyze, and use information to make decisions and come up with solutions to unexpected situations. So how do we become one of them? Well, I'm going to talk about 5 tips to train your brain. Let's start with the overview, and I'll explain how each of them works and give you some exercises to train your brain. 1. Utilize background noise. 2. Do something new every day. 3. Getting rid of the nocebo effect. 4. Organize your brain. 5. Asking yourself the whys and hows. Let's start with the first tip. Utilizing background noise. Our brain has the incredible ability to multitask, handling multiple inputs simultaneously. However, there's a catch. We often limit ourselves by consciously focusing on only one task, whether it's reading, listening, or solving a problem. Once we find ourselves in distracting situations, we start losing this focus. That's why it's really important to train our brain to focus no matter our surroundings. Studying or working at a cafe, or in the living room, can structure your brain to think straight without meaningless thoughts. Second tip, doing something new every day. Now let me start by introducing you to a quick exercise. Try to think of 10 yellow things in 30 seconds. Stop this video right now and see how many you can come up with. Did you manage to list 10 yellow things? Some of you may have found that a bit hard. You may have thought of bananas and lemons, but after that, it got tricky. Why? That's because we don't often think about yellow things unless we're specifically asked to. Your brain needs practice to make these connections. Now, let's try something similar. Quickly list 5 blue objects you see around you. Were you able to? You probably had no trouble with this exercise, right? That's because you encounter these things every day. So, the more you expose yourself to different categories of objects, the easier it will be to retain and come up with something. Exposing yourself to new things could be anything, like listening to a new podcast, song, or trying new foods. The key is to constantly gain new experience and get used to unexpected outcomes. This way, you feel emotions, thoughts, and opinions about things. By incorporating this into your routine, you'll train your brain to make quick connections and retrieve information rapidly. Next tip, getting rid of the nocebo effect. You probably know about the placebo effect. It's when you feel better because you think you've taken medicine, even if it's a sugar pill. Here's the twist. Placebo effect can work negatively, commonly known as the nocebo effect. When we believe something bad will happen, we might actually make it happen. For example, let's say someone tells you that you have the mental capacity of a chicken and there is no way you could pull off a presentation. If you believe them, you might start feeling nervous. Your hands might shake and your memory might fail you during the presentation. This is because our beliefs influence our emotions and behaviors, which can affect our performance and outcomes. On the other hand, positive beliefs can boost motivation, confidence, and optimism. For instance, let's consider 2 students preparing for an exam. One student believes they suck at math and believes they'll fail the exam. On the other hand, the other student is confident they're capable of doing well. The first student's negative belief can lead to decreased motivation, increased anxiety, and ultimately poor performance on the exam. In contrast, the second student's positive belief can enhance their clarity and ultimately think straight without negative distractions. To avoid the nocebo effect, instead of dwelling on worst-case scenarios, focus on your strengths and past achievements. Remind yourself of times you've overcome challenges and use those experiences to build confidence in your ability to handle the situation at hand. Here's a quick exercise to help you recognize and challenge your negative beliefs. Write down 3 negative beliefs you have about yourself or your abilities. For example, I'm not good at public speaking. I always mess up my presentations. I'm not creative enough. Now, next to each belief, Write down evidence that either supports or challenges that belief. By doing this, it will help you become more aware of your negative beliefs and start challenging them with positive affirmations and evidence of your abilities. Fourth tip, organize your brain. Our brain holds a lot of data, but there's just so much information and it's often difficult to retrieve a certain part of it. Why? Because our brain processes information sequentially. First, we receive input, then we interpret it, store it, and finally retrieve it. But we can only hold about 7 items in our active memory at once. Well, how do we retrieve something at the back of our memory? To develop this ability, practice organizing your thoughts onto a paper. For instance, when watching the news or after watching a video, write your own review or summarize what you saw. This exercise helps your subconscious mind to differentiate between unnecessary and necessary info. Over time, this practice will boost your mental agility, enabling you to grasp information quickly and respond swiftly in various situations. Last tip, and maybe the most effective one. Ask yourself, why and how? When faced with a problem, many people immediately jump into finding a solution without taking the time to understand the underlying causes. However, it's important to understand the essence of the problem. Before jumping into action, invest time in asking questions. This allows effective thinking. One way quick thinkers utilize the power of questioning is by reframing the problem. Let's imagine you're trying to fix a leaking pipe. Instead of immediately reaching for a wrench, a quick thinker will take a moment to ask probing questions about the pipe and the surrounding setup. They might inquire about the type of pipe material, its age, and the severity of the leak. By gathering this information, they can better understand the situation and determine the most appropriate course of action. For example, if it's an old galvanized steel pipe, a quick thinker might consider the possibility of corrosion causing the leak. By understanding the root cause of the problem, you can condition your brain to link 2 and 2 together, asking why something is the way it is and how it came to be, and train your brain to come up with new ideas. This can even be used during conversations. Next time someone comes up to you and says, "I changed my makeup," think to yourself, why? Perhaps they got into a relationship. Maybe they wanted to change their image. Ask yourself, how? Did they change their lip color, eyeliner? Yeah, it may sound stupid, but this trains your brain to constantly think of possibilities, linking situations together and really helping your brain to work to its full potential. Alrighty, now here is a quick recap. Utilize background noise. Do something new every day. Get rid of the nocebo effect. Organize your thoughts. Ask yourself why and how every time. You gotta remember that becoming a quick thinker takes practice and conscious effort. So start by incorporating small changes into your daily routine, such as practicing active listening, challenging negative beliefs, and asking probing questions. As you continue to develop these habits, you'll notice improvements in your ability to think quickly and make instant decisions. With persistence, you can become a quick thinker and unlock your brain's full potential. Well, that's the end of this video, but have a good day and hope this helps you out. Hi, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want a really, really good brain.